everyone. Uncle Robbie Bob Houghton here from How the DAW Sage is Made. I'm going to give you a little introduction on how Reason works. And just so you know, once you become familiar with these windows, you'll see that most DAWs have some kind of setup like this. So get familiar with this, and then you can branch off, and I'm going to branch off by doing videos that use other DAWs. So there you go. There are three basic windows for Reason. There's the sequencer window, which is this one. There is the mixer window, which is this one. And then there's the rack window, which is this one. It's the rack for you. And there you go. The first one we're going to start talking about is the sequencer. There are two types of recording in Reason. There's audio recording, and then there's MIDI recording or programming. The audio recording is when you plug an instrument into your digital interface, which hooks up to the computer, like a guitar or a bass. So if you look at this window here, these tracks, the brown bass part here, the lime green electric guitar, rhythm guitar, the electric lead guitar, and this little fill here, all these squiggly line things, they're called wave files, which are digital recordings of sound. I'll give you an idea what these sound like. The other type of recording is MIDI recording. And if you look at this drum part here, I'm going to double click. These little red dots are actually triggers or note triggers. They trigger an instrument inside Reason, and each of these different notes are attached to a different sound or instrument. So if this is a drum track. So what we're going to do is hear a whole bunch of different drums played on each of these keys here. If you've never done that, please do so. It's actually rather satisfying, if not annoying. So as you notice, each one of these keys, or most of them, are assigned to a particular sound. And then basically what you do, there's a variety of ways that you can get these notes into here, and I've done all of them that I know of. One is where you actually go in with a pencil tool and draw each of these notes. And you draw them in time, and you can copy and paste and kind of get through it relatively quickly, but that can sound somewhat antiseptic. So I take the MIDI out of my drum set, plug it in to the computer, and then play these sounds by playing my drum kit. So I actually play drums. I know how to play drums. So that's what this particular part is I recorded these drums, quote unquote, live, and they sound like these. So they have a little more of a live feel than if I was to program them one at a time with the pencil tool. And it goes quicker, although you have to make sure you're on your game in terms of playing accurately, although there are ways to fix that also. Okay, and we also have the piano part, which is MIDI, and it's got that telltale set of dots and lines. Those are MIDI notes. And it's playing an electric piano sound. But we could also have it play a different kind of sound. Let's see. Let's go to an acoustic piano and drag that in here. And what will happen is a lot of the time I will have a part and I kind of like the sound, but then I want to tweak it a little bit more. And you can spend a lot of time trying to find sounds. I don't even know what this is going to sound like. Let's give it a shot. Let's hear that with the track. I don't know how wonderful that is, but it's just giving you an idea, again, what can happen when you can change the instrument of a MIDI track. To review, the sequencer amongst other things, has two types of recordings in it: MIDI recordings and wave recordings. One of the other windows is called the mixer. And here is where you can change the levels of each of the instruments relative to each other, and you can add effects and compression, which is an effect, and all that kind of neat stuff. So these are faders, and they change the volume. This is the pan, and if here, I'll play the rhythm guitar, and I'll pan it. So that's panning. And then these are all effects or send effects. These are inserts, which are preset groups of effects, which you can use to try to get a particular sound for a track. We have EQ, which is basically another fancy word for tone control. We'll talk about that another time. These are also EQ controls of the knobular type. And what else do we have? We have noise gates, and we have compression, and we also have the input level. And there's even more. There's so much more. That is the mixer. And then lastly, but not leastly, we have the rack. And this is where all the instruments are manipulated. So here's my bass part, and I have that going through an amp emulator. This is the guitar part by itself. But now I'm going to turn the effects that I put on it one at a time so you can get an idea what it sounds like. So the first one would be the amp emulator. And then I'm going to add the chorus and flanging. Lovely. And now some reverb. Now, one other thing about the rack is you can control how things are connected to each other by accessing, drumroll please, the back of the rack. Yay! Which is one of my favorite things. When I first saw Reason and I saw this, I was sold. It's kind of like an effect, but it's not. It's, you know, like a insubstantial effect. It actually controls how these are all connected together. So pretty damn cool, huh? Again, other DAWs have interfaces similar to this, although a lot of the connections are not as graphically enhanced as this, but they are there. That's basically it. We have, again, the sequencer, the mixer, and the rack. As I said, other DAWs have a similar setup. And so if you understand the theory behind what we're doing here, then when you go to Pro Tools or Logic or any of the other DAWs that are out there, Cubase, you'll at least have an idea of what's going on. So if you have any questions, send me an email at thedawsage@gmail.com. And please check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/DawSage. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and hope you got something out of it, and we'll see you later.